Konbanwa. Hello, hello, hello. Ooh, how are we all doing? I am here. Can you hear me? Damn it, I haven't actually set up the music. I'm running a little bit behind. How are we all doing? Welcome in. It's been a good long while. I'm wondering how many people are still remembering that I stream. I haven't streamed in ages, it feels like. Where are my headphones? Give me 1 second. Let me go get my headphones. Very professional. Start the stream and then I'm off. Give me 2 seconds. Çok professional böyle. How are we doing? Did you hear that clicking sound there? I've had to install a baby gate on my room because, well, you know why. He's a very active boy, and it's great because he's very teachable and all that, but he's a lot of work. Let's just make sure I'm connected to the right thing. He's hypermobile. Yeah, no, he's more than hypermobile. He's rapid, and he's very inquisitive, and he's hard work. On weekends when we it's just us and him. Like, he's such a good boy. As long as he's outside, he just loves to be outside. We went to we can get into it. We went to like a park this weekend. Like, a lot of the parks in Tokyo are kind of sterile. Like, very clean. I guess they're the same in most like cities. But we went to, I don't know what you call them. They're like these dirty parks, like muddy parks, where they encourage people to like build and get involved. There's a real community aspect to them. They're really, really great. It's a little bit far. It's about 30 minutes away. But there's like these kids who volunteer, and then there's some adults who volunteer, and they all run this thing. And you go there, and like, oh, there's no like jungle gyms and stuff like that. They're all they build new equipment out of like wood. They get timber, and the kids actually nail them in and stuff, and they build these stuff. They make mud pies, and there's water and all this stuff. It's really great. A paddock, is that what you call it? I've never heard. Well, I guess it makes sense. Like, paddock for animals. Anyway, let's get to the stream. You're all here for some woodblock carving. We're back on the bonsai. And we will be... Eh? Chattomate. Ah, okay, it's plugged in. Sorry, I just saw a red light for the battery, but it's plugged in, so it shouldn't have. I need some glasses. What was the picture of the Blaenau Festiniog Railway? Was that a picture of the Blaenau Festiniog Railway on your recent newsletter? Yes, it was. Yeah. Let's wait. I'll talk about that. I got some stories about that. How do you know about Blaenau Festiniog Railway? Incredible. Let me explain that a little bit later because there's some good stories there. Maybe I talked about them before. I don't know. You can correct me later. Anyway, flick over to the blocks. I holidayed. Ah, nice, nice, nice. Um, okay. So we've been working our way very, 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 very slowly through this block. We've done down here, and we worked our way up the trunk. Ooh, can censor it. Worked our way up here, dun 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 dun, all the way through the branch, and there's just a little bit right at the end here that we haven't done. We'll get to that today. But basically, the whole trunk of the tree is done. This middle section, because we've done it really awkwardly and on stream, and I've not got any of the finer U gouging needs to be done in here. And then there is some more U gouging and some ISKey work to do in here. But I'd like to start today's stream with I finished the seals and I redesigned them. This is the new seal. I printed out a couple just in case I mess one up. You have mentioned working on it. Oh, okay, I did mention it then. Okay. Yeah, so I've got a new way for you. I made a new they're not really seals, they're more like hankos, inkans. But these will be the only marking. There's no title or anything planned for this block right now. That's why there's no borders or boxes here. I think I'll be doing that on a polymer plate going down the side. But I will have 3 marks on them. One is for the collaboration with ACN. It does say Kyoto underneath here, and he kind of wanted that in, but I told him that's probably not going to be possible. I've just left it like this, and I will have a go at carving this, but it's quite small. God, I need to cut my nails. This is obviously my logo, and then this is the logo that will be there just for the first 100. I haven't fully decided how I'm going to sell these. Like, I think there will be probably a Kickstarter for it to pay the printers, because printers are not so cheap, especially when you want something this complicated. So I'll be paying the printers really, really well to try and encourage them to do it and do it nicely. And so the first 100 copies will go on a Kickstarter, and I'll do that for, there's 3 images in this series. Just for anyone who is new, this is the image we're working on. This is a little bit of a simplified version. The final version will be looking a little different than this because it will be printed. It's different than how I've worked the Photoshop files out. But yeah, this mark here, this will be on this is the new mark I decided. It used to be a ginkgo leaf, and actually I designed the original seals. I've rubbed them off now. I took them off before the stream. But I designed the original seals with like a ginkgo signature I did. But that was before I made my new logo, and I wanted to add the new logo in. And so because it will be 100 copies, this is the kanji for 1, and then 00, so it works as 100. After the first 100 copies are done, I will remove that, and then I will sell this print through other means later on. Perhaps coming to some famous printmaking workshops near you, maybe not near you. Let's get to it. I need to cut these. I need to measure some stuff, cut some stuff and paste it down. It shouldn't take long. First editions are going to be sold where? I think probably on Kickstarter. I thought you would go with classic lettering. Yeah, so did I. It was something I batted around. I've made several different versions. Actually, I think on, let me enlarge this one. You can see this was the penultimate version I landed on. But I decided to take my signature off. I thought it was clunky. I was in contact with a calligrapher, And then I just decided I wanted to go without the titles entirely. I'm going to do some, it looks really kind of bland on the back. I am going to do a lot of, there's going to be some Atanashi Bukashi and some Gomazuri and stuff like that. Probably no Barensuji. But there's going to be a lot of like different textures, and this background color is still really undecided. I have a few different working samples. 5 out of 5 new subs. I didn't see that. Go to the stream manager. Ah, KP, thank you. Arigato. Right from the beginning. How are you, everyone? Anyway, I gotta measure this out. Let's get moving. Ramble, ramble, ramble. We've got lots to talk about. I should do a pencil work first. Am I positioned correctly? This is the one I'm working on. Let's just move the camera for a second. And focus. Okay. The ASAN. Oh, that's not square at all. Let's use the ruler as a square. The ASAN logo will be in red, so I won't be carving that on this block. Oh, I'm off screen again. But I do need it there to gauge the distance. I want these to be spaced equally. So I've printed it out on this one, but I won't be carving this today. Only these two. Struggling to keep this on camera. Let me just double check this now. This will be flipped. It is the bottom right hand side of the print. So correct. Then I want to go 0.7. So 3. Not that. 0.7 and 0.7. These should be equidistant. Okay, that's going to be my mark to align this on the block correctly. I've cut a little triangle in the bottom to mark the edge border of where the seal will need to fit. Oh, we got a new sub. Kazmir 2001. Thank you so much. Arigato. You don't have to sub. 2 months as well. Arigato. Let's give one of these out. We've had 2 people. We don't use these enough, so that's fun. Arigato. Got my newsletter and stickers last week. So good. Ah, arigato. I'm glad they are arriving safely. I sent my Patreon stuff out at the end of last month, and I'm slowly getting like feedback that they're arriving at people. This was a tricky one. There's people in Canada who still haven't received that actually because of the strikes. The strikes going on in Canada. I'm hoping all the ones to America get through fine. We need to cut this first. Yeah. Focus, focus, focus. Sorry about all the shifting and moving around. Let's also get rid of this picture. Oh, that's all good. Thank you so much. I'm glad it arrived safely. I hope you like the sticker book as well. We'll catch you next time. Peace. So I'm just going to cut this. I'm giving a little bit of extra space around because often when you're putting these little plug seals, plug Handsta on, they can peel at the corners and it can run really easily. And this is just some normal printer paper with some thin, I guess this is 3 mm. I think it's 3 mm. 3 mm Gampi. And obviously we see it in the right orientation now. I just stuck it down with some 55 spray glue. And I'll be pasting this upside down on the block. Real shame I can't zoom in and out on this. So it's good to go give yourself a little bit extra. I got that wrong, didn't I? I forgot about the changing orientations. Hang on. Why did no one catch that? I got it on the right side. This is going to be pasted on the left-hand side of the block. I need this to be on the bottom left hand. But it's going to be flipped over, so I actually need the marking on the other side. You guys got to be quicker. Let's just put a little guide first so we can get the square. 2. 0.7. Then we go backwards, 0.3. So that's the mark we want. And we're pasting it down here. Let me just readjust the camera so I can be comfortable. And down here. So maybe you can't see it. I can cut this away actually so it's a little bit easier for you guys to see, since it's not black anymore. Can you see that there? There's a little triangle there. And that corner there is what defines the edge of the print. There's no actual marks on the key block. And I need some glue. This is some Yamadonori. And just some wood glue. Sorry, everything's half focused. We never played the music though. Click. Okay. I'm not used to this streaming thing, you know. I'm gonna darken that so I can't see it through the paper. So that's my guide. And you know what I will do as well? It's not that important. But if I just mark up that. And then we can put a touch of camellia oil, if I can find it. This is a little pot, Tsubaki Abra, camellia oil. Can you see what I'm doing? Just sort of smudge the ink. Okay. A little bit of that, a little bit of this. I'm mainly using the Yamato Nori, sort of like a protector from the wood glue, so we're not gonna leave any harsh wood glue residue there. You don't have to do it like this. You can just bit of water, bit of wood glue, but I don't have any water with me. I tidied it away. Or you can just use the Yamato Nori, but these are kind of fine lines. That's a bit extra, that isn't it? I don't need that much. So let's try it. Kind of erase the pencil line. Where is the pencil line? Okay. We don't need to worry about shrinking or swelling or anything here, okay? Have you ever had an allergic reaction to any wood you've worked on? Recently sanded some silky oak and have been itching, scratching, misery for the last 2 weeks, but finally on the mend. I've never had any allergies to any wood, no. To what wood did you say? Silky oak? I'm not even familiar with that species. Let's just double check, because I can still shift this a little bit now. I don't have that ruler. I think we're square. I think we're square. No, I've never had any allergic reactions to wood. That sucks. Glad to hear you're on the mend though. Sanding. What were you sanding? Some silky oak for? What are you making? It's an Australian type of grevillea. Ooh. That was a close call. This is another reason why you make them big. We're okay, we're okay. I don't actually need to iron this so much. But I can come back in a minute and just give it a quick rub on the back, but it doesn't need much. I might just put a piece of paper down and rub it quick. I can use that same paper. Should be good. I'd usually leave that to dry naturally, But we probably want to see some carving today. So I'll speed it up by just giving it a quick hairdryer. Oh, I'm blocking it. That'll just speed it up a little bit. We'll do a bit of ice ski, finish up that top bit, and we'll come back, and that should be good to go. You were learning how to do Japanese dovetail joints. How does that differ from just regular dovetail joints? They're just dovetails, right? Or is there a bit of nuance there? Is the music very loud today? The music is so fitting what you're doing. Is it a bit loud? I can turn it down. It seems a bit loud in my ear. Tidy up. Soft enough for me. Cool. Okay, let's do a bit of ice ski work and we can have a little chat about what's been going on, why I've been truant. Let's get this out of the way. Okay, standard dovetails using Japanese joints, tools, and jigs and techniques. Cool. I haven't done any woodwork, joinery, stuff like that since I was in school. I used to make things all the time. I'm not a big fan of guns, but I remember I made these like 2 guns because other kids like guns at that time. So I made these 2 bits, but they were made of like so many different pieces of wood, and they were all like, I went overboard. And they had working triggers made out of coat hangers, and like underneath the wood I put like grooves with rubber bands that were twisted, and they had these plastic pipings and stuff. Have I told you about the trumpet I made in school? I was really extra with all these types of stuff. I really used to like woodworking, doing dovetails and stuff like that. I don't know if I could do them now. I might have had quite a pleasant life as like a cabinet maker or something, you know. That's what William Francis did, wasn't it? Isn't his father a cabinet maker? Pretty sure that's what he told me. Bit of camellia oil. Ooh, saturated. I don't like guns, but I love the adventurous nature with making stuff. Yeah. Sensei Martian, hello. Welcome in. I don't have a keyboard. Can someone shout him out? Sensei Martian is an IRL streamer. I'm sure most of you know him. I don't know how many people got on today. Probably not many realised that we're still streaming. I guess most of you know who Sensei Martian is. Will you be having a reattempt at your walk again when the weather's better? Have you got that planned? I haven't been keeping in touch with anything. I haven't even been on my own Twitch. Was that a giant naan in the pic? I guess that's a question for Sensei Martian, not me. I have no idea what you're talking about. We all in focus and stuff. Ah, okay, okay. I figured. So yeah, when I was in school, in primary school, I used to make a lot of things out of wood. Um, there's a couple stories there that are really fun. One of them is a trumpet I made. I got this brass piping and I like bent it round and I did, the copper brass soldering. You get those little fixtures and then you connect pipes together. So I put a couple of those on each loop. It went round 3 times and I bent it around a fence post slowly using all my little like 10-year-old muscles or whatever. And they didn't have any valves on them. They were just like open T valves, T junctions on each thing. It went round 3 times. It had like from a narrow gauge to like a thicker gauge was the mouthpiece. And on the end, I painted what they call just a standard funnel and put that on the end for the horn. And it actually worked, the trumpet. The notes didn't do much, but it worked quite well. Yeah, I was bummed. The rain came way harder than expected. Only 43k, but my legs felt fine. Looking at either 11.1 or 11.15. 11.1. Do it on 11.2. We all know the significance of 2nd of November, surely. We're in this stream, we all know it. Very special day, that. It's an auspicious day for a walk, I think. And of course, I will cry if no one knows the significance of that date. Another thing I made when I was younger, around the same time I made that trumpet, was I made like a movable bush. Sort of like in the same way. Does anyone know what a bender is? They're like, usually they're made of hazel. You get like long straight bits of hazel, you bend them over and you throw tarps on them. And you make like steamers and stuff. Like saunas. That's a bender. We used to have them, I guess, as kids a lot. And they're fun to make. You also see them in people's fancy gardens now, living domes and stuff. Anyway, I made one of those and I had like a Bugs Bunny or, Wile E. Coyote-esque movable bush I used to take around a field and try and sneak up on rabbits. One day I jumped over the fence, planning to it doesn't matter where I was going. And I had a bunch of equipment with me, and one of them was super glue, and I held it in my mouth and jumped over this fence with this bush, and the top of the super glue exploded, and it was one of the worst experiences of my life. My whole mouth was coated in super glue. The whole roof of my mouth. I don't know if you've ever got super glue on your skin, but it's like it sort of goes through me today. The feeling of super glue on your skin. It's non-toxic, it's fine, but it's not a nice feeling. What could possibly go wrong? Good luck on your next walk. No, it's not my son's birthday, it's my birthday. So I set up a PO box now so we can all send me birthday cards. I'm surprised. I was smart enough to just hold my mouth open until it dried. I didn't hold my mouth shut. In the middle of a field with a movable bush and a mouthful of super glue. It's not one of my finer moments. I need to look at the reference for this, just in case I'm taking off a dot. Swoosh down, flick over, at the top, open. Cool. How did we get onto that story? Anyway, lots of things have been happening. The reason I was late, why I haven't been here, I did briefly mention it. I said that I couldn't do one of the streams because Asuka Sensei gave me some like emergency rush job. He's working on, well, they're 4 prints by an artist who's quite loose. It's sort of like a little bit dotty, a little bit Manet-esque crossed with Japanese sort of landscape stuff, kind of. It's kind of like, and it's not pointillism, but it's like, it's kind of rough, blotchy, no key block type work. I guess it's a little bit impressionistic. Yeah, so he had a rush job for that, and I had to pick it up. Well, he actually came on the train and dropped it off because I couldn't get there until the morning. And I cancelled that stream because the times didn't work out. And then I figured that I could stream the next day and start like just doing some of that work, because the block I was working on, typically with Asuka Sensei work, I'm on like NDAs. I'm not allowed to really talk about them or show the progress. But I figured I could get away with that one because it was so like, it was just a bunch of dots. No one could really tell what the image was because it's so impressionistic. And that was the plan. And then I saw how much work there was. And that night I stayed up till 4 working. I've had a hellish week. Yeah, the blocks are like 55 centimeters by 46, something like that. Standard Orban, like the long side is like 39, is it? They vary quite a bit. Was enjoyable to carve. Good afternoon, Terence. If I'm not wrong, reading Spiegel's Happy Birthday to... Ah, okay. Canton Mu. I thought that said Camus there for a second. So thinking you were a philosophy student. Maybe that is a reference to Camus. Canton Mu. No, probably not. Was it enjoyable to carve? No. It was awful. I hated it. For a couple reasons. One, it was on... I just knocked the brush over, it's okay. Let's readjust this camera, what's going on? One, it was on Sheena, which I don't like carving. It's too soft, and the grain directions on Shino, the one goes this way. Most of you who are making your own prints, I'm sure you use Shino a lot. Grain goes this way, and then the next layer, the grain goes this way, the next layer, the grain goes this way. And so it gets like really flaky and awful. Like you can get some bad cherry blocks, but and the grain can be wild on them. But at least it's only going in one plane, you know, it's either bad this way or it's bad this way. It's not bad in 3D. So yeah, it was that. And also the other thing is actually I wasn't supposed to be on this project at all. He'd sort of kept me aside off this project. There was a bunch of other people helping him to carve. I'm guessing there was about 10 plates. There must have been 30 odd colours, but there was a couple there was multiple colours on each block. So I'm guessing about 10 blocks. I didn't see the full block list. But yeah. So yeah, he had his other people helping him. He's got some like apprentices in training. Two of them for various reasons, like were doing work and then left, both of them for different reasons. In the middle of it. And so I took over other people's carvings. Which is not fun. You know, everyone has their own way of carving, different people have different angles. And it's okay clearing blocks Asuka Sensei's made, but clearing blocks that other people have made is like, it's not fun. And also, I was told, I was given it on, what was that stream? It was a Tuesday. So I was given it Tuesday night and told that it needs to be ready by Friday at 5 o'clock. My son's sports day was on Friday. So it meant I had Wednesday and Thursday to carve it. And this was like, it was 5 days worth of work. And I was given 2 days. And I've had so many of these requests that just come in last minute. I told him before that like I'm not doing any more of these because the amount of working till 5 a.m.s with him because he or other people have like mismanaged their time. It's not fair, and it's not worth. It's not not worth the money. So I the first day I got it the block at 9. I worked till 4. I slept 2.5 hours. I got up, took my son to school, and then got straight back to work. And then that was another 18-hour day on 2 hours sleep. And then I got to the end of it, and I messaged him because there was some issues with the block. And he was like, "Yeah, I haven't finished my blocks. I don't think I can send them on Friday." So I've worked like 40 hours in 2.5 days to get these blocks done, and he's not hit his deadline. So I actually had 3 extra days to do it, which is ridiculous that I wasn't told. Yeah, maybe you can go to sleep before 3 o'clock tonight. So I'm a little bit groggy. I'm still not recovered. I'm getting old, you know. It's my birthday coming up, but like I used to do these things a lot more. You know, because obviously I'm working 2 jobs as well. I'm doing Asuka Sensei work, and then I'm doing um Mokankan 9 to 5, and then I've got my own projects as well when there's no works from Asuka Sensei. So I'm not adverse to like doing these long days, but I can't. My body doesn't recover anymore. I'm struggling. I don't want to just complain, but I'm feeling old. You know, I'm only. don't even know how old I am. How old am I? I'm 92. I must be turning. I'm 32, right? Someone do the math on that. I think I'm 32, turning 33. I shouldn't be complaining that I'm getting old, but like it's absolutely wiped me this week. There's also been a bunch of other stuff. Some of it I can't really talk about, but it's been busy. It's Mac the knife, isn't it? Hang on a minute. Interesting. I added that song. I read that not letting someone to sleep is kind of employed torture. Welcome to the life of an apprentice. It shouldn't be this way. There was enough time to get it done. It's not Asuka Synth's fault. It's also not my problem, technically. I don't. My partner, my wife, she really doesn't want. Every time I get one of these calls, she's like, "No, there's no way you're not doing that." Because it's also hard on her. Usually I'm doing a lot of the housework. I'm helping that, not helping. I'm doing a lot of the housework as well, and I've got lots of duties with him, and I want to spend time with my son and stuff. So when I'm like working that many hours a day, it's also she's cooking dinner and she's washing up. Usually the duties are split, so it's hard on her as well. It's not a life for the faint-hearted, you know. Or maybe it is. The other people seem to be doing fine. There's a Taran to mop up. You know who you are. I don't think they're watching. But if they are, you owe me a beer. How quickly did you get over jet lag? I don't know. I don't sleep on planes, so I don't know if I get jet lag in the same way. I just get exhausted. I can't sleep on planes. I don't know if it's the same as jet lag. Jet lag is like your body clock is in the wrong time zone. I don't really get that. I get just I can't sleep and then I'm exhausted. It's like doing an all-nighter. Okay, that top bit is done. It's not very clean down the bottom here. We'll have to go deeper here. I've gone way too shallow. So I'm gonna around this. I'm gonna go deeper. Just get a flat and clear that later. But we're not going to do that now. We've got some time to do some carving. Do we have a sharpened knife? My life is in disarray. Let's just see. So let me just do a little bit of touching up. For Focus. This is not a major sharpening. I'm just going to touch it up a little bit. Good point tip to anyone who's doing sharpening though. If you have a whetstone like this with Nagara, click on teleport viewer back to back and after to click on teleport viewer and I'll gladly have you take you for a beer. Thank you. AI is on the way. Maybe it'll figure that one out. Yeah, what was I saying? If you're using Nagara on a stone, rotate it as you work, because inevitably when you're sharpening the back of the blade like this, I should get this on camera better, Jesus, it's gonna create a little bit of a divot, and you want to keep your Nagara as flat as possible. Ooh. You want this always to be flat. Because sometimes you use this on your key blocks if you want to smooth down some ireki, some inlays. You want to get the wood nice and flat, you can use your Nagara on key block, and for that you need it nice and flat. I wasn't planning on doing a sharpening stream. I'm just going to gloss over it. I need to do this quickly. And it's fine. It's kind of sharp. I just want to touch up the back. Can I show you the way I hold it? Not really. Maybe I can switch over to the other screen. Pinky there. These two come down like that. That's the grip. You don't have to do it this way. It's much easier to just push it with your finger. That's the grip I'm using. I'll do a video in the future. You can just push like this, or you can grab it in this weird way. This is the way I was taught. Just make sure I'm getting it flat. What you're looking for, you can't see. What you're looking for is when you put this down, just at the point where it pushes the water out, you know you're flat. We focused. I don't think you're going to be able to see that. Can you see that pushing the water down? Push the water out. I think we're good. And if you do the front, always do the back. I stuff it up anyway, I hold it. Yeah, I think it's probably easier to do it this way. The key, I think, is you can play with it for the first couple of strokes, try and go slow, and then I don't know, there's like this feeling you get from it where it seems like it's just sliding on glass, like you're ice skating. Like it feels rough. And then when you feel that feeling, you're like slowly thinking this way and pressing your finger more into the tip, or you're pressing more back this way. And then that second it feels like it's just gliding, hold it there and keep pressing that same way. There, sliding like glass. And if you can't find that, it's probably because you're already rounded. And at that point, it's better. Matt, it's still good practice to go like this, but you'll probably be quicker. If you can't find that glass, it means it's rocked. So go back to the previous stone and just give it another couple passes just to flatten it on a coarser stone, and then come back. You'll save yourself a lot of time doing that, rather than struggling to and gradually sanding to get that thing. But because you've got no guide, because you can't feel that moment where it's flat, you'll end up having to grind a long time on the finishing stone to get that flat. And you'll make it rounder, but because you don't have that guide. Anyway, that's that one. Let me just do the back of this one, so I'll show you this way. Tip. So the other reason I'm doing this is because there's a little bit of an embarrassing little touch spot rest. I haven't used them in a little bit. It's mostly been since Tuesday I haven't used them. And then just a touch. I didn't do that one either. This is not your guide to carving, to sharpening. We'll do a proper one in the future at some point. Thank you. I love when people describe feeling of things, not just the technical angles. In fact, it's a lot more helpful. I agree. That's why I do it. Someone tells it's the same with the carving the depth thing, you know. It was a real thing for me. People keep saying carve to this, but because everything's sloping away, you have no real gauge unless you pick up the block and look at the side. You have no real gauge of what the depth is and what the correct depth is. So it's just getting a feel for it, what it should be, and building in that intuition. Let's see how this is now. Nice. Sharp. Should we do a hair? No, let's not do that. It's a quick way to dull the knife, actually. What are we on? About half an hour. Let's angle this properly. Oh, I don't need the slippy mat. So we don't need this one. I keep a padded mat underneath when I'm doing clearing work because I want to move the block. Now this doesn't really shimmy easy. So let's readjust. Yeah, if you don't feel it, it'll take you a lot of energy. It takes a while to get that feeling as well, but looking for that ice skating feel is what you're looking for. Where there's no resistance. When you first start as well, you won't feel you'll feel it every now and again, and it'll be an elusive thing to stay on that track. It takes a long time. But eventually you'll get it. Trial and error, yeah. But trial and error in the right direction is always helpful, rather than just shooting in the dark. Yeah, this Scampi's quite thin, so I didn't really need to peel much off. Let me just check something. Okay, so this is the kanji 1. Inside curve first. Let's start here. It's been a little while since I had a knife in my hand. I've just been in hand clenched ice ski mode recently. I was just about to say it would be nice to get this printed soon, to get a test print done on stream, but there is another project that's going to have to take priority. I just sent out the autumn newsletter with the sticker books and the 2 new stickers. Oh, we can show them at the end, since I think most people have seen them now. Have received them, so I can show you the stickers I made. The paper's a bit thick. I should have peeled it a little bit. Something's sticking. That's naughty. You really shouldn't flick up with the knife like that. I knew it wasn't very... I say it for your own sake. You don't want to... You don't want to do that with a knife you've spent ages sharpening, especially in the beginning when your sharpening takes so long. Right, that's that. I'm going to peel it a little bit. These seals are actually a little bit bigger than I initially wanted, but I went this big simply because, wait, I can show you. The ASAN in this is really small, and I could have carved it smaller because, well, I could have. But getting that printed any smaller, those letters, that little dot and the dots inside of the E would have been an absolute nightmare, especially considering that this is going to be a single colour. It's going to be the only red bit on the print, and so it's just a baron on top of that. Not so fun. Not so fun. I'm going to leave enough. I'm not going to leave it... I'm not going to clear it very wide so that they can just use a small brush and use the wood surrounding it as a guide. And by that, I mean probably me doing the test printing. Still a bit fibrous. Right. Circles. I'm going to go quiet for a little bit because I want to get this nice and smooth. The outside, I'll chat again, but the inside, I want to get nice. Just give me a second to do this. on the edge of a block as well. You know, you've got nothing to support your hand on here. God, I need to cut my nails. You've got nothing to support your hand here. I don't know how much you can notice how much of the body is actually used in this. Now for this bottom bit, because I have to get my arm right in here to do that final little cut there. I'm gonna press up right against the bench here. Couldn't you put a block of wood there? I could, but it's too much faff for this one little cut. It's fine. I think it's looking okay. The difficulty with that cut is that you can't actually see the line that you're going to cut into. You have to like look underneath. And then final cut. Then we can stop sweating now. I hyped it up a little bit. It's not that bad. It's just it's my logo, so what were we talking about? I've completely gone blank. You'll notice when I stop that when I lift up because I want to reposition my body, I always go back a little bit and I shave it in a little bit. So I'm continuing that curve. If you try and take your knife out at one point and then go back in the same point, you'll inevitably end up with a little like bump or an unevenness in the carving, even when you do it really carefully. So it's always better to go back and then just try and shave and continue that line. That's why when I'm coming out and I know I'm reaching like the end of my movement, I sort of like pull my knife coming out away from the line a little bit so I can go back and shave in that line and I can get a much nicer curve like that. The stuff I'm talking about is really subtle movements though. Interesting to see a whole different way to carve, as opposed to Dave. Hmm. You think I'll eventually wish you had a simpler logo? I think I might need to make a hanko, make a stamp. This is the simplified version of my logo, actually. Have I got a... So the more complex one, it has lines in the middle. And when I made that little sunshafada, I carved them. But I decided to use the simplified version for this. Not because it's difficult to carve. We can carve it, no problem, obviously. It's for the prince's sake. Always thinking of others, absolutely. I'm a philanthropist. Philanthropist. Sorry, I got an always sunny joke stuck in my head there. You gotta be careful with that joke. You can't just say it out loud if people don't know where it's coming from. Hmm. Should have just done with one ginkgo leaf, right? How are we doing for time? Oh, question. First time chatter. They Daily lad. Hello everyone. This has probably been asked and answered before, but I apologize in advance. I recently started learning Mokongo and I found out it's better not to rotate the block when cutting lines. Why is that? I figured that when I do rotate the block, sometimes I can't see the cut I just made. Sometimes when I rotate the block, I sometimes can't. When you rotate the block, you should be able to see what you're carving all the time. That's the point of rotating the block. Because the word raise. No, that's not the reason. Um, it's a long, sort of multi-nuanced point. One, the simplest one, and the one that people get told most of the time, is just because it's more efficient. And you're seeing me carve something quite delicate now, and you're thinking that doesn't look very efficient because you're going so slow. Uh, when you're, it's not so much for things like this. In fact, it's probably a lot of carvers would be rotating a lot more here. I think that a lot of carvers would be rotating a bit more and stuff like this, where it's like kind of detailed. You don't want to mess it up, curves, whatever. Um, so one thing is efficiency, and it's more efficient not to turn the block, especially when you're in like somewhere like this. Now this block has a lot of sparse elements. If you're looking at little dots like this, and there's lots and lots of detail all over the block. If you're looking at a small, delicate bit like this, then you rotate the block. You then have to try and find it again, and like it takes a surprisingly long time. And if you're doing that every couple of minutes, sometimes you can really lose where you're at, and you're wasting a lot of time just like searching for it and then repositioning every time. Instead, you could just be steady beavering away. The more important point is about the nuance of the line and the taste in the cut. So if you just plan on making, you know, your first little prints and you're not going to do this professionally, or you don't want to make like if you're just doing it for your own satisfaction, I suggest just rotate the block. Just go ahead and do it. It takes a long time to learn not to rotate the block. There are a number of like subtle advantages to not rotating the block. Another one is how the block prints, but I'm guessing you're not going to be passing your blocks over to printers, and any sort of quirks that you have from your style of carving, you are also doing your style of printing, and you'll learn to deal with the quirks that the way you're carving like imbues in your block. So if your blocks need like to be brushed, typically the last brush on a block will be, it'll be side side, and then the final one will be against the grain, nice and subtle. If your blocks, when you do that, they block up and stuff because you're carving in a particular way, like maybe yours needs a, you need to always go like a diagonal on the last bit to clear up all the ways. Anyway, you'll learn how to print your own block. So if there's quirks to your style of carving, it's whatever. The thing is that this is passed over to a bunch of different professionals after, and they have to print from my block, and they want, like, they do something in a certain way that always works with a certain type of block, and it's been established like this for hundreds of years. A block set that prints in a certain type of way is beneficial to give to a printer. Otherwise, printers will just get sick of having your blocks that, like, oh, these ones always block, or they don't look clean when I print them like this. So do whatever resonates with you. It is good to practice a little bit though, even if you're not. There's more to it, and we can go on and we could do a whole stream about rotating the block. It's not a silly question though. Give it a go. How long have we got? We finished the carving. Should we just clear inside of it? Where did I put my ice cream? Are these them? I'm not militant about people rotating the blocks. I'm just making sure that that little section. Are we in focus? I think so. What else was I supposed to talk about? Oh, for those of you who know who Ayano is, my wife, she works at Mokankan, so I guess a bunch of you know who she is. I did actually see, I'll offer her to pop in. I don't think she'll be coming in tonight. She just got a perm. We've been watching this show called Outlander. It would be really cool if you were all watching it. I've got so much to rant about that show. We don't really watch TV. We watch with our dinner. We watch a little half an hour or something every night. And we've been watching this show called Outlander. And we've been really enjoying it. We sort of hate watching it. There's a deeply unlikable character. And there's one who's just like incredible. Anyway, the main character has like really curly hair. And she's become a little bit obsessed with Scotland because it's about, well, at least the first couple seasons, it's about the Jacobite Rebellion and Scotland in the 1700s. And she's become kind of obsessed with Scotland. That's like her new place that she was gasping to go to. Don't know. And I suspect she's got a perm because she's enjoying the show. She's becoming a super fan. She looks good. When she came back from the hairdressers, Her hair is like freshly permed. Oh no, camera just died. What the hell? Oh no. Let me just plug and unplug. God, I can't plug it back in. We don't need my face. Oh, we're back. We're back. Yeah, when she came back, she was like freshly permed, and she looked like. Do you all know what city pop is? Like the Japanese sort of 70s, 80s um, city pop, and the album covers, the vinyl covers for all these city pop albums are these Japanese women with like perms and all 70s music. Yeah, she looked like she came back looking like an album from a city pop record. Something like Cindy or Takahashi, what's she called? Takahashi, Inaichi or something like that. She looks good. Maybe when we get bored of the jazz, we can make some city pop stream playlists. Outlander has been great for people running scenic tours for visitors. Yeah, I can imagine. I didn't think about that. Revitalizing the Scottish Highland tourism industry. Is it a popular show? I don't know how popular it is. It's truly it's a garbage show, but it's so much fun. It's not good writing, and a lot of it is not good acting either. So I feel like a little bit embarrassed as like this is the taste I have. But it is fun. She really likes it. It's sort of like the main character who's a guy. It's like he was written by some, maybe I've said this before, but some horny romance novel author. Just a woman in, you know, maybe I shouldn't say this. A woman in her like mid 40s who has a shitty husband and is just imagining, oh, this nice guy come and save me and take me away, and he'd have muscles and long curly hair, and he's beautiful, and he's Scottish. Yes, we'll set the novel in Scotland, and his name will be Jamie Fraser. I mean, I cynically like hate watch it, but also I really enjoy it. I want to see what's happening next. So both things are true. You should give it a try. It's good. I'm a bit worried about taking it to Scotland actually. I guess on our next trip to the UK we'll have to go to Scotland. It is beautiful up there. Um, you're carving off screen. Thank you, thank you. There's a button for that, you know. No wonder I'm carving off screen. Usually I'm carving. My standard place for carving is way over here. How old did you say you'd be on your next birthday? I think 33, but don't quote me on that. I was born in 92. Chika Tatsuya is a couple streaming Japanese city pop and jazz. Their performance is a vibe. I'll check that out. Thank you. Combination city pop and jazz. Oh, we had a new sub. Thank you. I don't know how to read your name. I always mispronounce everyone's name. Deliliad. Deliliad. We're going to run with Deliliad. That's your name now. Enjoy it. I think we're done. We're done. We're done with the carving portion today. Oh, and look at the time. Just before we go, I'll show you the new stickers. I've got the book here somewhere. So this is what everyone received this time. They got the sticker book. These are the New Year stickers, January, July. Can't see one of them. And then this is the new set. We have uncarved block. This is going to be a motif. What did I call it in this? What is the word I'm looking for? Not motif. I can't find it. Anyway, there's a word I'm thinking of. Like a motif. This is going to become a thing I want to play with. This concept, the uncarved block. It's the name on my Discord for one of the channels. I want to make some sort of merch with this in the future. These are all. This one actually is made from a book I have here. The inspiration to this purple and stuff. Anyway, if you're into Taoism, there's some little Taoist references in here that I quite enjoy. And then this month's tooltip one is about the correct knife posture, how to hold a knife. There's also a video if you're curious and you were saying that you just started carving. There is a video on proper way to hold a knife, and even if you're not carving without rotating the block, I still suggest you hold the knife correctly. So you can check that there. I think it's there for free members, or like you don't need to be a paid member. So all members have access to it. And this is the sticker that goes along. It's basically a video that explains this in a little bit more detail, some more nuanced points about holding the knife correctly. So you can check that on my Patreon. And with that shameless self-plug there, yeah, I think we'll leave it there. Flip over to the face for a bit. Kill the jazz. It's been a pleasure. Thank you for all showing up. I don't know how many people are here, but it's been fun to get back to it. I think we'll leave the raid for today, and we'll try and find a raid for Friday streams. From now on, I'm here. I think there's not going to be many more. Well, I don't know. Hopefully there's not more work last minute. He really should have sent those blocks away by now, so I don't think I'm going to get another call right now. Fingers crossed. See you, Carver man. See you. Yeah. Arigatou gozaimasu. Have a nice Tuesday. Is it morning for you? Anyway. Oh, you might have a good raid. Do you want me to check? Yeah, if you say there's a good raid, who is it? Are they online now? If it's a good raid, we better do it. Raided you? Do we do that? Ah! I see who you might be suggesting. Yeah, I just saw. Okay, let's do that. Yeah. Oh yeah. Let's roll over to Koningami's stream. You all know him, you all love him. Koningami. He needs no introduction. I'm not sure what he's working on. But I'm going to flip us all over there. Please be nice to him. I haven't clicked the button. Start raid. Here we go. When you're all ready, I'll send you over. have a very nice evening, night, morning, whatever it is to you. I will see you again on Friday. Peace. Arigato. Bye.